I'm about to show you an account that breaks every single rule that I've ever told you about building an early game account. This account has made more progress than I've seen from most people who have 3 Transcendence Heroes. Yes, I want to stress that. 3 Transcendence Heroes. This account has no giant killer heroes and is playing the game in a way that is genuinely inspiring. The guy who owns this account is called Goblin. You might see him in chat throughout this. And Goblin has been using strategies that we would normally implement in things like Seal Land or Aspen Dungeon and applying them to a pretty unresearched area of the game. You're about to see an account that is demonstrating how to use Vulcan as an early hero. I'm talking 3 Transcendence Heroes with a Vulcan, and this account, I kid you not, has made more progress than I imagine you would even dare to expect. And the strategy they're using will blow your mind. We have a VIP 7 level 220 account. And this has some crazy achievements. Void Vortex. Do you want to know how far this guy's managed to get? Let me show you. He has done Dominator 1. It is beaten, destroyed, Dunzo, kaput, dead. Impressive. Very, very impressive for 3 Transcendence Heroes. I'll show you the Glory Challenge real quick. The whole thing, fully completed. And if you don't believe me about the A tier, look, no tick. This account has never had an A tier hero. So take a look at this. We have a Vulcan, a Natalie, and an Eos. This is fresh. Natalie is the most recent Transcendence hero and arguably why this is possible. Beforehand, if you wanted to build Vulcan as an early hero, your options in the Cloud Island were very, very limited. You could only choose Asmodel the Dauntless or Arania for 10 and spot 4. The fact we now have an incredible support hero from the Light faction has given us far better opportunities. And this guy is using an Azrael, not even a Tussalago, who has typically better awakens and a better skin. The reason Azrael is here is because we literally don't have the light, but what the heck? Oh, they're 4 stars. I thought they were 5 stars for a second. But no, we literally do not have the light food for this. All our light food is literally a Vulcan, a Natalie, and Eos. This is super impressive. And you might be thinking, yo, is his treasure train huge or something? What's his secret? It's not even that big. 400,000 attack. Yes, that's bigger than the average budget player, but that's not unachievably high. He's only got 10% extra crit damage for a Transcendence hero. Only 5% all damage dealt. You can achieve a treasure train like this just by being smart and approaching your treasure train with some degree of sophistication. Yes, we've got a little bit of speed there, but that's coming from like fortress boosts, forest boosts, light boosts, so none of that's actually affecting Transcendence heroes. And then scrolling down here, we haven't got mega bonuses. For Void Campaign, look, it's only a little bit of attack, a little bit of armor break. Yes, we do have 45 speed. That's quite clutch. We do have the speed artifact from there. But we've got damage reduction, HP, holy damage. All these things are tiny. Skill damage, 66.3. Now, granted, that is quite high. But if you are going to be upping your skill damage in the Alien Desert, you just get the cream of mushroom soup, which you can absolutely get really easily just by being smart. If you actually just go into the treasure train carriage and make sure you're getting at least 10 done a month, you easily can grab a mushroom soup every single time. Now, generally, I recommend you do 30 so that you can go ahead and get the holy damage one as well that gives lemon tea. But either way, that's how you boost your holy damage and your skill damage in campaign. So, have a look at this. This guy's Vulcan is using an incredibly unique build. Now, yes, it has 9 million attack. Straight up, we're just going to call it for what it is. This guy has 2 Tree of Origin 5 Transcendence heroes, and yes, his Celestial Island is pretty impressive, right? It is upgraded pretty high. 105 in each one, but that just means he's prioritized his Transcendent houses, which is what you should do. So the Eos is giving 2.8, the Natalie is giving 2.2. But then again, is that because they're wearing flags? It jolly well might be. And yes, they are. So you're not going to be really running flags in a lot of circumstances. Heck, you know what? I think in campaign, yes, you absolutely would even run a flag on Sunderbara Rios, because she wants to die anyway. And I'm guessing that's exactly what Goblin did, if we're honest. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. And that's one really cool thing, by the way, about Eos. Her dying is beneficial, so therefore running a flag isn't even a bad thing. So if you want to consider an early artifact for an account like this, flag is fine, right? A Transcendence flag, once you get to 3 Transcendence heroes, just makes Eos stronger. Other fights, like, let's say, a Lord of Fear Aspen, you can't really get away with running a flag. You kind of want to keep the Halora and the Elena alive. That's what makes this a little bit more unique. In the case of the Natalie, she's got a golden crown. This is only glittery. We haven't got a smorgasbord of artifacts. In fact, most of our other stuff is just flags to try and improve our stats. We've got a Rui Scepter here on a home showing. That's not even getting used, right? We normally say grab Rui Scepter because it's incredible for the Lord of Fear Aspen. There is no Lord of Fear Aspen in sight, so you wouldn't even grab a Rui Scepter if you're doing this strategy. This completely breaks the book on what we recommend. We've got a Shadow Flag on the Azrael. Everything focusing on stats to get our big boy Vulcan as juicy as possible. And this is exciting. Full subs. Now, granted, full subs, very, very, very important, right? Extraordinarily important. So that is what gives Vulcan the edge. However, Natalie doesn't really need subs. Even though we've got them, she doesn't really need them. I guess the passive ones are beneficial. But in the case of Eos, absolutely does not need subs. We've just got her upgraded for the stats. Now, the reason he's got subs is because he is a spender. He is VIP 7. That's not incredibly high. And I think there are going to be people who are middling players who maybe spend a little bit of money who will find this fascinating. So you're probably wondering, and you're probably begging me to tell you, what was the secret build? What is the strat that he is using with this Vulcan that has allowed him to do this? It isn't just the fact that Natalie exists. It isn't just the fact that Eos exists. It isn't just that he's gone and chased his flags and improved his stats as much as he possibly can in the Celestial Island. It is this. An Augustus Magic Ball. An artifact that used to be the best first artifact in the game until Melodic Strings came out. And there were arguments to go with Punisher at the same time. Those two artifacts were kind of like the best. But then Melodic Strings completely ate up what we thought was good, because every strategy that was implementing Melodic Strings would do an active skill round 1, use an Ignis to energy feed, and do an active skill round 2. What makes Augustus Magic Ball genuinely incredible is it reduces the damage you receive by 250% of the hero's attack. When you have a big, fat, juicy attack stat like 9 million attack here, that means that reduction is actually very, very significant. And you will see heroes with Augustus Magic Ball receive -1 damage. Very, very useful. Crit attack on a stone. That is excellent with Augustus Magic Ball. It is the classic combo that we run when we're doing Seal Land clears with Augustus Magic Ball. You may see many people tell you to run holy damage, skill damage on a Vulcan, but that's late game stuff. You don't have to do that. In fact, the reason we're running crit and crit damage is to both improve our crit chance and our crit damage to get us to a point where we are critting and damaging consistently. And then we're running Balance Strike. No Unbending Will. And you might be like, whoa, 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 but Unbending Will keeps you alive. Well, Balance Strike heals you when you crit. So A and B massively reduces your damage taken, so you probably won't die, which means Unbending Will never gets triggered. And then the crit attack is absolutely giving us good crits with good damage, so the Balance Strike heals us. And doesn't A and B drop off the more attack heroes gain? Potentially. But it's the more attack opponents have that makes it drop off, right? It's actually that opponents just become so much more inflated than we are that this can't mitigate the damage as well. But in this case, this Vulcan's huge. He's got 9 million. He's great. We haven't reached points in Void Campaign yet where opponents have such stupid damage that even A and B can't shrug it off. So this Vulcan has gotten this far. We are at 266. And that is a shockingly disgusting fight. It is one of the most annoying fights that you have to do once you get past the milestone of 261. It's 2 Sherlocks, 2 HomeJUMPs, and 2 Tixes. Now, granted, he was doing this with a boost to his bonuses. He had 40 extra speed, 48% HP, 32% attack. But granted, if you're a budget player or even just a mid-spender, there are going to be people ahead of you who are pushing Holo Campaign. So you should hopefully be able to ride on the wave they've created for you by pushing Holo Campaign. What is also so significant about getting to Chapter 2.6 is the new update we had for the Destiny heroes. He is able to go ahead and get himself Scattered Spirit Vein Shards and Aurora Gem Shards already dropping on his account. This is bonkersly good because it means that even though he only has 3 Transcendence heroes, he has already started generating resources. And that resource generation is going to be so huge in the future. So my advice, if you are going to be wanting to try this for yourself, is to go ahead and start off with an Eloise strategy like you normally would. But actually, for your first artifact, you can go ahead and get a golden crown, and you can make that splendid if you really wanted to. Now, yes, Melodic Strings still has a use. I'd probably still pick up a Melodic Strings. But then I would go ahead and get Augustus Magic Ball as your third artifact before you even start wanting to grab Demon Bells. Because then, when you get to a point where you can have 3 Transcendence heroes, do the whole Glory Challenge shebang, you should also hopefully have enough food to build 3 heroes in the Light faction by the time you get to 3 Transcendence heroes and can do the Glory Challenge. So the prerequisites for this particular account are 3 E5s in the Light faction, AMB, Golden Crown, and hopefully a good high level on your Celestial Island, Cloud Island buildings. If you've got all that, you can go ahead and just run Vulcan in the early game and see yourself getting a lot of progress. You can beat Dominator, you can beat Campaign, and it was all with an Augustus Magic Ball. So yes, I'm probably going to go ahead and throw this team in and we're not going to win. I think that's totally expected because, you know, we are going to struggle, I'm imagining. I will put Eos here at the front. We will run Phoenix as well for a bit more crit damage. I don't know how this is going to play out, but we might as well find out. It's probably going to get wrecked, in all fairness. Sherlock, Tix, HomeJUMP will probably hard stop us. I don't know. We will see, though. I mean, already, you can see that Vulcan's not even taking that much damage here. Tiny, tiny chip. A and B really helping us to tank. Vulcan should heal that damage away. A little bit of damage coming out there. Vulcan's been dubbed. Okay, this is our issue. But yeah, you're seeing, he is tanking this. Look at that. AMB reducing the amount of damage he takes massively. In fact, the reason we're losing this is because HomeJUMP, Tix, and Sherlock is just a disgusting wave. We might need something like Elena to help us cut through this so that we don't get permanently wrecked. But it might be something to think about as another hero to build. Elena could be really, really, really good because she will allow you to not get wrecked by those particular heroes. However, I can't think of anything right now that's going to let that team beat this, mainly because I have never, ever seen this kind of account before, and I love it so much. Like, normally, I absolutely despise Vulcan as a hero because him being hyped by content creators for late game does lead people to want to build him early, and until Natalie came out, there wasn't really a good strategy. But thanks to people like Goblin, who went ahead and did this anyway, have experimented, we now see that we're in a really, really, really good spot with how to build these teams. You could even argue a Lord of Fear Aspen could be a good choice here to crowd control those enemies. But then again, at this particular stage, Lord of Fear Aspen is just not going to be fast enough to beat the speed of these opponents and crowd control them. So that could also be a huge issue. So I am actually just tempted to lean towards heroes like Elena, Ailamak, heroes that are reactive. But I don't think we can build an Ailamak yet, that's for sure. But I think potentially Elena could be good here. Then maybe Mystic Fairy Freya. Anything to help us live and anything to go ahead and give us much needed crowd control removal. with those things, I would be really curious to see how this account goes. And if you want to see more of this account, because I absolutely do, there's 2 ways that you can get that. First is by subscribing to this channel, and I will go ahead and review this account in the future as it makes more progress. And the other thing you can do is if you do want to try this for yourself and you have the prerequisite stuff, you've already beaten the Glory Challenge, or maybe you're doing a big Glory Challenge switch so you can afford to maybe destroy some of your Transcendence heroes, and you do have an Augustus Magic Ball or a way of getting it, that will definitely help. And there's a question in chat there, is Seal Land 30 beaten? Yes. This is an account that has cleared Seal Land 30 with 3 Transcendence heroes. The amount of progress that this account is capable of is better than any account I've ever seen that does not have an A tier, hasn't finished its Celestial Island completely, and honestly is just doing everything completely counterintuitively to what we would normally recommend, but it is great. So this account will spawn what I hope is a new way of people playing the game. This is super cool. If you are going to try this, let us know in the comment section. I think more people need to test this, and as more people discover the brilliance that is now Natalie plus Vulcan in the early game, I'm very excited to see what we as a community can come up with. So hopefully you enjoyed this. This was more an awareness video and a showcase video than a proper review in and of itself, but I am super hyped to see more of this in the future. If you are too, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and happy island.